Alrighty, so we are finally back, not only making a video, but finally back talking about some more Black Ops 7 news. Now, you guys may be wondering, Dan, where did you go? Did you get lost in the dark ether? Are you looking at last gen Richtofen back on the 360? Maybe. As usual, a ton of life stuff, ton of college stuff, ton of work stuff, but with all the boring, non-important stuff out of the way, we got some stuff to talk about here with Black Ops 7. To most of you, this may be like a lot of recap and a lot of old news, but for me, there's a ton of stuff that has gone on probably the course of a month and a half that I really wanted to talk about in terms of Call of Duty. The gameplay you guys are seeing in the background is some pre-recorded zombies as well. The reason being, there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about with zombies, including the new teasers that dropped on Instagram today and then later got uploaded to Twitter by Treyarch. Now, I know I said I didn't really stay updated on zombies and really have the same passion in zombies that I've had for the last couple of years, and that is still true, but I'll talk about that more when it gets to the zombie side of things, because there's a little catch in there that's kind of got me hooked a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But going down my list, the first thing that I wanted to talk about with Black Ops 7 was the looping score streaks and the disbanding lobbies. We know that skill-based matchmaking and looping score streaks is something that has been topic of discussion in Call of Duty for a long time now. I love the idea of looping score streaks. If I'm having a good game, I just want to keep getting my score streaks, and go on a tear. I think it's a great thing to do, especially when you get a good lobby with how hard the skill-based matchmaking is. If you can start looping your streaks, you deserve to loop them that game, man. Let me tell you. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a default thing in Black Ops 7, I don't believe, but there is a perk that allows you to do it. It seems like what Treyarch did this year was trying to meet a lot of people in the middle and say, hey, you like this feature, we're going to meet you in the middle and give you a perk for it. Or you don't like this feature, okay, we're not going to add it, but if you do want to use it, here's a perk as well. They did the same thing with Tac Sprint, they did it with the looping score streak, stuff like that. I kind of categorize this as meeting in the middle, so to speak, and I think that they did something similar with the disbanding lobbies. You guys remember way back in the day, Call of Duty used to have lobbies that would stay together. So if you and your friends were pub stomping and the other guys didn't back out, you would just stay in that lobby map after map after map. Or if you met like a rival, you guys are butting heads with the other team, you guys would stay in that lobby just for however long until someone left. That's just how it was. And in the more recent CODs, I think it was like Modern Warfare 2019 maybe, they wound up taking that feature out. So after you complete a match, your lobby disbands and you never see those guys ever again. They're lost to the ether. Shadow Realm with Yugi's grandpa, gone. This in combination with skill-based matchmaking created like a super hostile environment for people that are just trying to hop on the game and genuinely enjoy it. I know the talk of like the 1% of people playing Call of Duty versus the rest of the people playing Call of Duty, skill-based is weighed differently there, and I do understand that a lot, but everyone I think is still on this like idea that skill base is rough, but there's no chance that they're going to remove it. So I think this whole idea of disbanding lobbies and keeping them in, no more disbanding lobbies, is good. If you find a good lobby, you're going to stay in it, and most likely what's going to happen is you'll get 2 to 3 good maps with that lobby, and then people might start backing out if they're getting pub stomped, but at least it gives you a little bit more of fun in that little stretch of maps. So I believe that right now they're maybe testing it on the back end to see if they really want to implement it in the game. It's waiting approval, I think, but from what I've been hearing, disbanding lobbies should be going away. We should be able to just stay in the same lobby however long we want. Hopefully, we'll see what happens, but I think that that's another feature that Treyarch's kind of like meeting the community on the middle and say, hey, we don't want to implement looping score streaks as a default, and we can't get rid of skill-based matchmaking, but we're going to give you a perk that lets you loop the streaks, and we'll remove disbanding lobbies to hopefully keep some of those same lobbies intact and experience the game that way. Now, I already know this video is going to be all over the place, but again, this is just a recap for me in terms of news. Another big thing that was a topic of debate a lot on Twitter was the Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7 skin, like, crossover or transferring. What skins were going to come from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7, and this was a whole fiasco. So I'm going to give you guys a rough timeline and where we're at now, because there's been a huge skin debacle over the course of probably like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So originally, all the Black Ops 6 skins and blueprints were going to come over into Black Ops 7, I believe. It might not have been the blueprints, it might have just been the skins, but basically all the skins were going to transfer from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7. The community said, no way, bro, I do not want Beavis and Butthead sprinting around in my Black Ops 7 futuristic game. They said, no, sir. So then Treyarch was like, all right, we hear you. All right, we genuinely care. We're going to try to do something. We're no longer going to add those skins in, and we want to keep things grounded. We want to have skins that feel in the realm of the game. We want them to represent the game's identity, as that's one of its strong suits, and we're going to keep them grounded in the game's world, environment, and setting. And the zombies community had a finger to raise, myself included, and we were like, listen, you gave us these Easter egg skins back in Black Ops 6, and they feel really grounded in not only the Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7 story, but they feel grounded in the universe. They're not like from a different IP or, you know, something like that. It was something that existed in the Black Ops series that, you know, molded itself with the storyline a little bit, the themes of the map, and they think that it should transition into Black Ops 7. And lo and behold, Treyarch said, you know what? You're so fucking right, because that's exactly what they did. They took the Black Ops 6 skins and they're now running them into Black Ops 7 for certain skins. I believe it's just the Easter egg skins that people completed in Zombies, which is a really, really nice treat. I think that that was definitely something that they should have done. I'm really happy that they did that. I do think that there's some other skins in Black Ops 6 that probably should port over as well, but if those are the only ones that make it, I'm not upset with that at all. I think that that's a great middle ground. Again, there's a lot of middle ground meeting here between the community and Treyarch, and I'm so grateful that they're, you know, expressing this middle ground and trying to find it and work with that community, because it's the thing that keeps Call of Duty up, is the community. Another topic for skins is they wound up reworking all of the pre-order skins. At first it was just Ted, so now Ted has 2 skins. He has the one that we initially saw when they dropped the pre-order bonus items, but now he also has one that looks more like Ted from Transit, and I believe they're 2 separate skins with different names, which is a really, really nice addition. Shortly after that, they wound up reworking all of the default skins, I believe, from the pre-order. Maybe not the robot one that was supposed to be the Reaper guy from Black Ops 6. I don't know about him for sure, but the other 2, I believe, got reworked. The human skins that were a little bit crazy, a little bit over the top. The community said, hey, maybe we can draw it back a little bit, you know, maybe get some more tamed ones, and I believe they did the same thing where they have a crazy version that was the pre-order skin originally, and now they have a more tamed, toned down version for those skins as well, which again is just such a beautiful decision. I'm really happy that Treyarch is kind of extending their hand and saying, hey, let us know what we can do to try to meet this middle ground, and they're finding it, and I think that that is amazing. That's the kind of, you know, clarity and just consideration that we wanted from these developers for so long in Call of Duty, and I'm really happy that we're getting it in Black Ops 7. In some other Call of Duty news, we're going to take a little detour before we hop into Zombies here. We have some of the, what I'm going to call wacky Call of Duty news. So we just talked about everything that's been meeting in the middle in Call of Duty, but now let's talk about some of the wacky stuff. So if you may not know, there is a Call of Duty movie in production. I think we knew about this for a little bit now, but it officially got confirmed, and it was initially supposed to be picked up by Spielberg. He actually wanted to do the movie, but they wound up shooting that down because he said he wanted full creative control. I don't know how they fumbled this bag. I'll just say it now. I don't know how they fumbled it, but it wouldn't be Call of Duty without some goofy, odd decisions on Activision's part. So we don't get the Spielberg movie, but instead the rights are now going over to Paramount, which for me is a toss-up. Might be good, might be bad. Honestly, I don't care too much about a Call of Duty movie unless it's a Black Ops campaign that has been taken and then translated to like a psychological horror slash thriller slash action film. But whatever the case is, I just thought that was really wacky, so I wanted to touch on it. I can't believe they bottled it, but I expect nothing less from Activision, so there's that. Another wacky decision was there's talks about Liberty Falls potentially being a Resurgence map in Black Ops 7. Again, I've been super disconnected from Warzone and Resurgence, but this kind of scared me a little bit because it illustrates a feature of Call of Duty that I personally think is very detrimental, mainly to zombies, but also to multiplayer as well, and it's when they make the maps to fit into other game modes. I've always talked about wanting each mode to be developed separately. I feel like they were at one point with features that kind of transitioned over, like the Riot Shield in Black Ops 2 also being featured in Transit as the zombie shield and stuff like that. I think that's beautiful. That was done very well, because they still felt like their own separate IPs. Now it feels like a lot of what Zombies is or what Campaign is, it's just parts of multiplayer smacked onto there, but then those maps, and this is where my biggest issue is those maps are then made to be universal. If we gotta convert them into a multiplayer map, we can. If we gotta convert them into a Warzone map, we can. I don't like that. I don't play a lot of Warzone, so it doesn't affect me in that aspect, but for someone that really likes the features of Zombies and 6v6, when you make those changes to kind of cater towards a Warzone map, potentially, if needed, it changes a lot of the core map, and for that reason I really don't like that kind of development process, but I do understand why they do it. I just really hope that they see the reception on how maps that are made for the mode specifically, without any other things in mind, are probably the best ones that they make. I genuinely feel like those are the most enjoyable, those are the most fun. It's not going to be the end of the world because Liberty Falls is already going to be like in the old Zombies game. It'll be in Black Ops 6, not a Black Ops 7 map, so I get that. I don't care too much, but I just hope that that doesn't hurt the development process going forward, where maps are made for their mode, not made for that mode, but in case we have to, we also made it universal for Warzone. You know, that's what I don't want. So that was just some more wacky news in the Call of Duty realm that I wanted to talk about. Again, this is going to sound like all over the place, huge info dump of stuff, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit because this has been like a month, maybe a month and a half just worth of Call of Duty news. It has been all over my timeline. I finally got a chance to sit down and talk about it. So we got the meeting in the middle stuff out of the way from Treyarch and the community. We wound up talking about some of the wacky Call of Duty news and some Activision decisions, but now let's finally get down to the nitty gritty, which is the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 Zombies news. So I want to preface this by just saying, yes, I haven't been the biggest fan of zombies since, I'd say, Black Ops 4, but honestly mainly since Modern Warfare Zombies. Modern Warfare Zombies for me showed a huge turning point in the zombie story and the potential of what it could be, because the start of Modern Warfare Zombies basically said, hey, anything that happens before 2020 or 2022, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. And what I mean by this is, I don't really want to spoil. I mean, I'm sure everyone has played Modern Warfare Zombies, but if you haven't, I don't want to spoil anything about the storylines or anything like that. But Modern Warfare Zombies essentially revealed what's going to happen all the way at the end of any game that features zombies from from Cold War all the way up till 2023. Anything in between there, I mean, it matters if you really want to pay attention, but there's no risk, there's no, emphasis on anything, there's no weight to any of the decisions made, because you know what happens in Modern Warfare Zombies. And I really despise that decision, especially because it wasn't done, I don't think, as an initial thought. I think it was thrown in as an afterthought because Activision was worried about the reception of Modern Warfare Zombies. So they said, oh wait, it's actually part of the Treyarch universe, you guys are going to love it. So for that reason, Modern Warfare Zombies has always kind of tainted how I felt about zombies going forward. Black Ops 6, obviously, for a lot of people was a toss-up. I think the gameplay was super fun for most people. I'm still more of a fan of the survival aspect, but I did have some fun grinding some of the camos and going for the high rounds, utilizing the jet gun on Liberty Falls. So I did have some fun on it. I did enjoy the gameplay, but the one thing that for me was really lacking was the story. And it's not that the storyline itself was lacking up until the final map, which the communities had some, some turbulence with, but it was mainly just, it was hard for me to get invested in the story because I know what's going to happen to these characters, specifically Weaver, once you get to Modern Warfare Zombies. Also, Modern Warfare Zombies, we know about the whole Samantha thing and all that. So, and again, if these storylines aren't connected, then I sound like a goofball, but I'm 99.9% sure they said Modern Warfare Zombies is canon for everything that's leading up, that we're playing currently. It leads up to Modern Warfare Zombies, except Treyarch made one teeny tiny decision that has kept me glued to zombies recently. I can't even believe I'm saying that anymore, but I am genuinely glued to zombies because there's this little sliver, just the tiniest little morsel of hope that I have, and it was the ending to the final map of Black Ops 6. If you guys don't know, there's 2 Easter egg endings to the last Black Ops 6 map, and without spoiling too much, essentially in my brain, one ending puts you on the Modern Warfare Zombies storyline path, which is a no-go for me. I don't want to go there. That's a code red alert. Not a fan of that. But the other one's interesting because it essentially puts you potentially on a new path and you never go to the Modern Warfare Zombie side of things, which for me, I think is a lot more captivating because I can actually care about what happens in the Dark Ether in this new title, how they're going to get out of the Dark Ether, and now there's a new enemy that's in the real world as a result of that ending. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's pretty interesting, and for me, I really want to see it. Some people will be upset about the redundancy and reusing characters, but I really like this aspect because at the end of Black Ops 4, yes, the cycle's broken, everything's closed, but a really important thing to note is that all that stuff did get sent to the Dark Ether. The cycle still is contained, and all the stuff within it is contained and now interwoven, but cast away to the farthest part of the Dark Ether, which our crew is in Black Ops 7. Now, does that mean every character in there is going to have the same stories and the same remembrance of everything that happened in, since World at War all the way up until Black Ops 4? No, I do think that there's wires crossed and they're not the same, but everything that has happened is, still kept in that pocket tucked in the Dark Ether. So that might explain, these new versions of the original Primus crew and stuff like that. And I think that that's really fascinating to look into. That being said, obviously there's some ties to the new transit stuff and whatnot, and especially today, it seems like they were really hammering in the transit idea with all these teasers. If you guys don't know, the transit stuff actually dropped today. It looks like we were getting these still shots slightly animated with the radio dial moving back and forth of the inside of the new vehicle. I believe that they showed it in one of the dev talks, whether it was the multiplayer one and featured it at the end, or maybe it was for the COD reveal. I couldn't remember exactly, but there's like that Pack-a-Punch Jeep thing that they hinted at or kind of showed or talked about. And this looks like it might be the inside of that, because we get like a car center console, like a Mr. Peak sitting there in like the center console area, like where the gear shift would be. And we see this radio dial going back and forth. There's 3 videos of that, or 4 videos, I think. I can't remember exactly. And each of them have some new sounds and some story that we're starting to develop. And I'm glued to it again, man. They got me, damn it. So 2 of them, I believe, talk about specific events that could have either happened in the real world or happened in another universe that are now being pulled into the Dark Ether with what happened at the end of the Black Ops 6 map. If you guys don't know, the Sentinel artifact, essentially, I don't want to spoil it, never mind, we're not going to go in there, but ideally the ending of the Black Ops 6 map caused some what seems like reactions, and it is pulling stuff from other universes into the Dark Ether, which we thought we only had one universe now because it ended the cycle in Black Ops 4. But maybe that's not the case. A lot of people on Twitter are saying that these voice lines and these voice recordings and call-ins that were on the radio sound like a possible Ascension. They mentioned like a rocket test site that could be Ascension. They also mentioned a downed plane, which a lot of people were speculating could have been Nocturne and Toten. So maybe there's a Nocturne and Toten and Ascension, part of the map coming in. We know that there's going to be some new points of interest on this like transit-esque map in Black Ops 7 on launch, so that's really interesting. And then of course we had the GOAT Ted. One of the voice recordings was just playing the transit theme that we know, the Green Run theme from Black Ops 2, which was such a nice callback. I actually genuinely felt something when I heard that. That was super cool. But then also we hear a voice quote from Ted at the end. It would be really cool if Ted makes a return. Again, I'm excited for this map only because there's stakes now. Things matter a little bit, because if they don't go the Modern Warfare Zombies route and make that the canon ending, then we have a new canon storyline that we're following and we're unraveling and we're discovering the secrets without knowing what's at the end. And I think that that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm really excited to kind of see what they're doing, and these teasers just got me again, man. I'm so invested again. Yeah, overall, in terms of zombies, if they wind up not going with the Modern Warfare Zombies canon ending, and they wind up instead going down this path of this new Dark Ether, how is our group going to get out? Who are they meeting along the way? And then what do they do once they get out? Because now they have a new evil to fight. I think that, as a canon storyline, would be really, really cool. And they can finally experiment with a ton of new stuff utilizing the Dark Ether in terms of atmosphere, maybe creating new stuff in the Dark Ether that isn't just like facility based, like, oh, it's a facility, but it's in a cool mountain. Like, okay, it's a cool mountain, but it's still a facility, Maybe the Dark Ether now will have some different stuff that they can experiment with, some teleporters, maybe some crazy jumps. I don't know, man. Black Ops 7, the Dark Ether is your oyster. Have fun. But yeah, I'm just super excited for zombies. Super excited for this Call of Duty specifically. And yeah, just sorry if this was a ton of information just being poured out. I tried to go relatively quick without doing any spoilers. But if you guys are interested on zombie theories, I'm here to talk about it, man. I will gladly talk a ton about zombies, and I might make one more video kind of talking about how I interpreted the ending for Black Ops 6, because I think I got a good enough understanding to kind of explain my excitement for Black Ops 7. So maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more once we get some more Black Ops 7 zombies news, especially for the reveal, which I hope is soon. But yeah, hopefully we got a really good year of Call of Duty coming in. I got to finish up Doom Eternal here shortly. And yeah, just full steam ahead for Call of Duty. But again, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.